Hey everyone, happy Monday. It's Kim Adams. And for today, since I'm getting a lot of tax questions lately, it is that time of year. I thought I would talk a little bit about hiring a professional, things to look for. And the reason this came up, or the reason I thought of this, was because I was recently talking to a client who had received a tax notice, a notice from the IRS. And when she talked to her accountant about it, the tax preparer had never sent a notice or never responded to a notice from the IRS. And that's pretty basic stuff. So I thought it would be worthwhile to just give you a couple recommendations and some points to consider if and when you're hiring an accountant or a tax professional. So the first thing is to make sure that you understand what your objectives are. So a lot of folks that are starting out in their business, whether it's a sole proprietorship or even if they have elected LLC status, will try to do their own tax return. And that's okay. Just understand that as your business grows, you may want to consider hiring someone. And I have found that hiring professionals, whether it's an accountant or a tax person or any other kind of professional, I always seem to get my money's worth out of it and even make money. Because many times a professional will make recommendations, they'll catch things, they'll catch deductions that you're missing that will end up saving you a lot more than the fee, the cost of the services. So understand what you're looking for and also realize that, accountants, CPAs are like doctors. There are lots of different specialties, and just like you wouldn't go to a cardiologist if you were having a baby, you wouldn't go to an auditor, for example, to get tax advice. And I remember when I first started out in my career many moons ago, I spent a few years in audit. And I remember relatives, because I was certified, I was now a CPA, and my relatives and friends were asking me tax questions, and I would be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So you want to make sure you're in the right place. So look for a tax professional, by all means, if you have a business that is comfortable, it is familiar with business owners and helps small business owners or even medium and large businesses. If you're a small proprietor, though, if you're a small business, you don't necessarily need to hire a big four firm. In fact, you don't want to pay the fees they would charge for an individual return because most of them don't focus in individual taxation anyway. They may do individual returns, but a lot of times it's because it's the CEO or a high-level executive at a client of theirs, a corporate client of theirs. But if you plan on growing your business, right, if you plan on being a big-time legitimate business, then you definitely want to vet and you want to do some research and get some recommendations from people that you know on local accountants. You might want to consider hiring a firm that has a decent size of professionals and also has experience in many different things. Because if you end up needing other types of advice, you don't have to leave the firm. Just like when my kids were looking for colleges, I wanted them to go to a decent sized school so if they changed their major, they wouldn't have to transfer. So the same idea holds true if you're hiring a firm. You may want to consider hiring kind of a broad, I shouldn't say broad, but just a size of firm that can handle other types of things. But by all means, if you're a business owner, make sure they're comfortable with small business taxation, helping you with legal entity choices. Potentially, that's another thing that you should consider too. And when you're just starting out, there are lots of tax preparation tools out there these days. TurboTax is great. It will walk you through, the interview process in TurboTax will walk you through all the questions. So it's a good software for doing your tax return. But again, I can't stress the benefit of having a professional. Just make sure that when you're hiring a professional, that you're stating your objectives with that person. So here's some questions to ask when you're interviewing a preparer. Make sure that you ask them what's included in the fee. So make sure you know what you're getting. Ask them if routine questions are included in the fee. Some accountants will include so many minutes or so many calls of just questions without charging you. But if it goes over a certain time, they may start charging you. So you want to be clear on what's included in the cost of the preparation. Ask if it includes any type of planning, or are you needing to pay separate for that? So a lot of times the return preparation is just that. They're going to take your information and they're going to plop it in software and prepare your tax return. They may not be helping you throughout the year at all. And so that's one type of service. If you just need your return prepared and you want to be confident that it's right, then that's fine. But if you're looking for planning, you may want to talk to them about, what can we do during the year, and ask for a bundled fee on a preparation of a tax return that can also include some consulting, some checking in with you, maybe reminders on quarterly payments, reviewing your financials at the time that quarterly payments are due is another possibility. So just make sure you know what you're getting out of the arrangement. And it's not that you can't eventually change accountants. So if you don't want to pay a lot, or if you don't want to, if your budget is limited on what you can pay for tax preparation, that's okay. Know that you can change down the road as your needs change. And sometimes it's not a bad idea to change accountants, because sometimes just the objective review by someone else will catch things or bring up things that your accountant, your previous accountant may not have thought about. And when it comes to hiring professionals, also realize that you're in a win-win relationship with them. So do not try to what's that term? Squeeze water from a turnip. It's got to be a win-win for you and the accountant. So the accountant, just like any professional, wants to like its clients. And so you want to be that type of client that they want, because they will bend over backwards for you. So in other words, don't be cheap. Live in abundance and come from an abundant mentality when you're hiring an accountant. It's not to say you have to overpay, but please don't be cheap with them, because they've worked hard. They have the level of expertise that you need. And like I said before, 9.999 times out of 10, they are going to help you save taxes way more than what the fee of that preparation is. That's been my experience anyway. Anyway, so if you're not watching this live, please feel free to type in any questions in the chat. If you're watching this somewhere besides Facebook, come on over to Facebook. I have a Facebook group called The Total Wealth Entrepreneur. So come on over and join the group. We have a lot of fun there. The focus is on helping business owners grow their business by helping them remove their money blocks and dealing with their hardcore money issues. But we spend a lot of time on money blocks, subconscious programming, because that's where it all starts. That's what the crux of the problem is for most of us. Anyway, it's been great. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the week, and I'll talk to you soon. Check in next week. Money Talk Mondays are 4 p.m. every Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Talk to y'all soon. Take care. Bye.